Alright students, now we have seen the book review already. So let us now also in tune with that try to see what a film review or a movie review is all about. So in this video I'm going to show you some of the important steps that need to be followed while writing a film review. So first and foremost, on your screen, once again I show you the same format which we saw for book review, only that the same format is used for both book review as well as film review with a slight difference. Let us try to see the template by zooming in and try to understand what this film review particularly is all about. So as you can see, in a movie review, it should also have a summary and analysis. Your review should start with an introduction, then a summary of the movie has to be given, then an analysis of that movie has to be given by you, and finally your conclusion has to be drawn on the basis of what you have written. So again, the same 4 steps need to be followed as we follow in a book review. Introduction, summary of the movie. Introduction will carry 2 things mainly. One is the name of the movie, the other is the producer and director, the name of the producer and director of the movie, and then a brief outline of what the movie is all about. So that will come in the introduction. Then you have the summary, then you have your analysis, and finally your conclusion. So just look at the introduction part. State the name of the movie, and it's based on a story written by so and so. So the name of the author also comes in. And the date of publication, instead of date of publication, it is the date of release of the movie. Okay, so you have to mention the date of release of the movie. Then outline the main idea or the main fact of the movie or the story of the movie in your review. This comes in your introduction, and these guiding lines can be modified into I really liked this movie because, and this movie is informative and practical because. Negativities, as I told you in case of book review, the same applies for film review also. All the negative things, negativities can be discussed only in the analysis part, not in the introduction. Then comes the second part, that is summary. Briefly outline the main elements of the movie, and you should involve who, what, where, when and why, just as in case of a book review, the same in case of a movie review. So this movie is about, the setting is so and so, the main characters are, the theme is, the movie argues that, if it brings up a very very burning question which is pertaining, which is something happening in the world around us, or something which really makes the viewer think, so that has to be mentioned. And the author's use, instead of that you can say the director's use of so and so, maybe special effects, maybe stunts, maybe actions, maybe dialogues, all those things can come in here. Then analysis, the third section is your analysis. Here you will critically state what you like and what you don't like about the movie, not the book. In this case it will be the movie. Then explain your ideas with specific examples from the movie. So action, character development, setting, language used, message being given through the movie, whether it is boring or interesting, whether it has suspense, elements of suspense, whether it's a thriller type of a movie, or whether it is a general informative movie or just for entertainment purpose, something like a family drama, or maybe a comedy or a humorous movie. So you can talk about that. Unusual, anything unusual you notice in this particular movie. Unrealistic things. In Hindi movies, most of the time you have so many unrealistic things happening. Then what is so exciting about the movie? So what all exciting things do you come across? Then methodology, evidence use, concepts, layout, etc., etc. So all these things can be written in more than one paragraph. And then you come to conclusion. Restate your thesis, summarize your main ideas, call to action. You must watch this movie. What should be the rating for this movie? Whether it will be a box office hit or whether it will not do so well in the box office. Everything comes into your summing up. So this is your you can say this is the basic outline of a movie review. Now here I have a film review structure shown on your screen. Please notice and please remember, you can make use of this video, you can take screenshots if you want. While many ICTV programs cover films in varying ways, there is a basic structure for the content of these reviews that all programs should follow. So here is a structural description. Film review should have 3 sections. Here it says 3 sections, but there should be actually 4 sections. Introduction, they have fused the analysis and summary into body and then conclusion. So introduction, then body will have a summary and then analysis and then finally the conclusion. So introduction, what do you have in the introduction? Opening hook, start your review with a catchy sentence, quote or a question. Introduce the film and give a 1 or 2 sentence summary of the film. I already told you in the introduction, in brief you are supposed to summarize in 1 or 2 sentences, just as in case of a book review I told you. The same applies in case of a film review also. When you reference characters, say the name of the actor who is playing them. Okay, so the characters in the movie and the role playing done by so and so actors. Do not give lengthy character descriptions. If you have to describe a character in the summary, use 1 adjective maximum. Never give away the ending ever. In your review, remember always, both in case of film review and in case of book review, never give the ending in the review so that the audience or the reader or the viewer will go and watch it or read the book. So ending should always be kept a suspense. You can speak about a big event, but mark this by saying spoiler. The purpose of the introduction paragraph is to introduce the viewer to the film, not to the reviewer's opinion. This paragraph should purely be informational, the only exception being the lead, which can have a more informal tone. So, see, body, what are you supposed to write? I told you that in the body you are supposed to give the summary and the analysis of the film. So, discuss aspect number 1 of the film, describe it, explain why it worked or didn't work, tell the viewer how it affected the overall film. Discuss aspect number 2 of the film, describe it, explain why it worked or didn't work, tell the viewer how it affected the overall film. So in the body paragraph, the bulk of the film review, the reviewer needs to talk about the film and combine information with opinion. Tell the viewer about a part of the film and then rate it. Be sure to tie it to the overall film as well. Why was it important that aspect was good or bad? Remember, a review is essentially an argumentative essay. Support your argument. So remember, 300 words is your word limit, so you don't have a scope to write very elaborate descriptions even in the body paragraph or the body paragraphs. You must stick to the word limit, so keeping that in mind, always do your review. Now let's see, here we have a film review assignment. See what it says. The film review assignment. Learning goals. The student will understand. Number 1, that films are a form of literature and can be analyzed accordingly. Number 2, terms used in film analysis. Number 3, impact of types and length of shots, camera angles, movements, edits, etc. in the development of the meaning in the film. See, these things need to be discussed in your review. All these aspects. Length of the shots, camera angles, movements, edits. The significance of the mise en scene, the placement of actors and arrangement of the scene. Okay, the significance of casting, acting, how good is the acting or how bad it is. You have to do the analysis also in the body along with the summary as they have suggested. So you have a scope to discuss both the plus points and the minus points of these things: castings, acting, script, in developing the dramatic aspects of the film, etc. So then you can just go through these things which are on your screen. You can take a screenshot and you can go through writing your film review. What are the necessary things that you must prepare first? Look over the notes you made, use of the handouts. Okay, anyway, plan your introduction. Then after the introduction, follow this organizational plan. Description or summary, analysis, the major portion of the review, evaluation, conclusions. These are the steps again being discussed here. So these are the things that you must put in to your film review. So then we come to some more information with regard to the film review. When you come to the conclusion, summarize your argument. Don't rehash the same points, but find a new way to say what you have already said. Rate the film. This is very important. Whether on a score, out of a score of 10, how much rating would you give this film? 7, 6, 5, or maybe star ratings. Out of 5, how many stars would you like to give to this film? According to you, whether it deserves 4 stars or 4.5, or whether it deserves only 1 star or 2 stars, depends on you. How you want to put the film. So rating has to be done. And then coming to the rest of the things are very going into much detail, so those things are not required. Conclusion paragraph is your recap paragraph. This is important. So focus on this. The conclusion paragraph is your recap paragraph. Summarize your argument and give your final opinion. Depending on how it is worded, you can include a sentence that references a new aspect in your conclusion, so the review leads to the talking points if you use those. So extra talking points are discussed here. You can just have a look. You can choose different aspects that once already talked about. Never give away a big event in the film, like it has been said earlier. Don't reveal the final outcome of the film, otherwise the suspense will be broken. Instead, hint at it. Choose something that interests you. Don't be afraid to branch out from the film. You can discuss films with related themes. Comparative estimate of another film which is of a similar kind can be done here. Other movies a particular actor or director or producer has done. Films made by the same studio, other box office films that are similar, potential sequel, prequel plans, etc. So general guidelines, be sure to vary the aspects you talk about. These things, these points must be included in your review on your screen right now. Don't forget to mention these things. Editing, cinematography, art direction, acting, directing, writing, that is script, music and songs and soundtrack, themes, stories, special effects. Use short sentences. It makes it easier for the viewer to follow what is being said. So this is in general what you are supposed to do in case of a film review. And here on your screen is a sample review. Just the main content is shown as the sample, but the format should be exactly like the book review. So let's have a look at the book review format. The changes that you need to make in this format I'll discuss now. Please pay attention. Heading remains as the heading, then leave a line, write review by your full name and surname, then leave a line. Then title of the book, instead of that you have to write title of the film. Author, instead of that you can write director. Language, price is not necessary, so you can omit that. Language of the film can be mentioned, whether it's a Hindi film or an English film. Number of pages is not required. Instead, you can mention duration. And genre, fiction or non-fiction can be included. Publisher is not required, but producer. Then introduction, about the film, about the director. Then summary. As we have already discussed, summary and analysis come together in the body, and so many aspects of the body have already been discussed earlier by me. So refer to those. Instead of these, you need to write all those things, all those points, important points which I had said at the end that should be included. Those points are to be included in the body. And then finally conclusion, where you are supposed to do the rating of the film. You are supposed to sum up the entire film, whether it's going to be a box office hit or a flop. All these things need to be mentioned in your conclusion, and your total report should be of 300 words. So that's it for film review. I hope I have been able to make you understand and I hope it is clear to you.